The omnibus spending bill passed by the Republican-controlled House and Senate will allow more illegal immigrants to be released into the United States after they are caught crossing the southern border through the catch and release program. The spending bill, which Trump signed despite opposition from conservatives and his base of supporters, paves the way for catch and release program to not only continue but increase in its use. Catch and release is the process where illegal immigrants caught by federal immigration officers are released back into the United States until their immigration court hearing. Part of the reason for their release into the country is because the federal government refuses to fund the space needed to detain illegal aliens until their court hearing. After being released, illegal immigrants often do not show up to their court hearing and become quasi-fugitives living in the interior of the country, adding to the already booming 12 to 30 million illegal immigrant population. Currently, the Washington Times' Stephen Dainin, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, has been using about 40,761 beds in its detention centers on average to house illegal immigrants awaiting their court hearings. The spending bill eliminates nearly 250 of those detention center beds, thus increasing the number of illegal immigrants who will be released back into the United States through the catch and release program. The spending bill does not include any of the provisions from Trump's list of pro-American immigration principles, where he called for the end of catch and release. Trump's populist immigration agenda, wherein he has called on the Republican-controlled Congress to reduce overall immigration levels to rise the wages of American workers, has largely fallen on deaf ears in the GOP leadership. For the 2018 midterm elections, Republican voters have said that reducing overall illegal and legal immigration levels to the United States, where more than 1.5 million illegal immigrants were admitted annually, is a bigger priority than tax reform, replacing Obamacare, and even destroying ISIS. And a lot of these voters would be correct. Illegal immigration is one of the biggest problems that America faces, not only due to overpopulation, but due to the economic side of having all these immigrants within the country. Like I talked about in my last video, illegal immigration has damning effects on our economic and wages within America. Because you have millions upon millions of illegal immigrants living within the United States, and you have thousands of business owners willing to hire these illegal immigrants in order to pay them less wages than the average American worker. This is why deporting them and making sure that they do not get their amnesty is so extremely important to our American economy. Because if they were given their amnesty that they want so badly, and we exactly gave amnesty to the 12 to 30 million illegal immigrants within the country, you would see a almost definitely collapse of the American worker confidence, and it will spiral us into literally a second Great Depression. Because you would have 12 to 30 million legalized immigrants within the country who are willing to work for scraps that these business owners can use to their advantage on making more profit for the company. Now, with that being said, with Trump's new spending bill that he passed, that he signed, it furthermore increases the catch and release program that he said on the campaign trail that he was going to go after and stop. And those of you who don't know, the catch and release policy is basically illegal immigrants come into America through the southern border, they're caught by immigration agents, we take down information on them, we give them a court hearing, and they fucking never show up to their court hearing. This was such a big problem under the Obama era that you had literal small militias of people trying to guard the southern border in Texas, because Obama went out of his way to defang and declaw immigration agents and ICE officers from doing their jobs. And I don't know if Trump is doing the exact same thing. Trump signed this bill despite the opposition from conservatives and his base of supporters, which it paves the way for the catch and release program to not only continue, but to increase in its use. And also within his spending bill, the border wall is basically forgotten in this $1.3 trillion spending bill that was passed in the dead of the night, and it was passed when the vast majority of politicians didn't even read what's inside the fucking bill to begin with. And that's a very scary precedent to set. You see, conservatives and people alike voted for Trump because we believed he was going to go after immigration. We believed he was going to give us tax cuts. And to give him credit, he has given us tax cuts, and that's our fine and dandy. But he can't just turn his back on immigration. It's one of his most best-selling points. And he said during the campaign trail that he was going to stop this catch and release bullshit. But here he is signing a bill that not only continues it, but greatly increases its use. So what does this say to Trump supporters and his base of fans? I truly do support Trump in his endeavors to try to make America great again. But signing this bill isn't the most positive and best thing he has done in his presidency. One of the things I heavily disagree with him on and oppose him on is his unwillingness to veto this bill despite opposition from his base and his core supporters. Despite all that, he signed this bill that doesn't fund immigration agents. It doesn't give them any funding. It doesn't fund the border wall. It increases catch and release's use over the southern border. It funds stupid shit that the Democrats want to fund. It funds various DACA programs. So it is a big loss on Trump's end when he signed this bill. If Chuck Schumer was happy about this bill being signed, it's not a fucking good look. Now, maybe Trump signed this bill in order to get some type of leverage over the Democrats. We don't know his overall strategy that he's using. But from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look very good for him. Jobs, immigration, and tax reform was his three biggest selling points. People want the wall built. People want immigration to be fixed. And people want their jobs back. Despite all that, Donald Trump still signed this bill, despite his core audience being in heavy opposition of him doing this. I honestly don't know what he's doing. I honestly don't know what his strategy is in signing this bill. I don't know if he's going to try to use this spending bill against the Democrats in the midterm elections. I honestly don't know what his strategy is in this. This bill is a huge loss for him in terms of support of his core base, because I didn't support this bill. And for the most part, I support what Trump does, but this I don't support. Him bombing that airfield in Syria, I didn't support either. And in order for us to stop becoming the liberal left, is that we need to hold Trump accountable for the mistakes he does. You see, the liberals made this mistake with Obama. Obama continued the same policies that were under Bush, but the left did not say anything about it. The left were too busy praising Obama for being the first black president. And from doing that, they did not hold him accountable for what they should have held him accountable for. And for us not to end up like that, I think it's very important that we hold Trump accountable for the things that he does that we don't agree with. Because if not, we'll just end up like the same liberal left that we are fighting against as of today. But all that being said, Trump has been doing absolutely amazing when it comes to immigration policy. He has been doing outstanding and has done more for our taxes and to deport people than any other president before him. And I truly do appreciate him doing that. I know he has to deal with a lot of the Democratic bullshit and the Never Trump bullshit in Congress. And I know that can become a hassle and overwhelming even to someone like Trump. But by all means, if he needs to go for a golf session, if he needs to chow down a couple McDoubles in order to clear his mind out and make stern decisions that his base will support him on, I think it's worth it. Me and I'm sure plenty of other people that supported Trump do not support his move here. Catch and release was one of the biggest things that was hated under the Obama administration. And here, this new bill that Trump signed increases the use of catch and release. I thought, in all honesty, that Trump got rid of it months ago. I thought the program was shut down and thrown in the back of all the useless programs that we've enacted. And to my surprise, I was wrong. We never stopped catch and release. It's just under Trump, it's been almost a dead program. But since this new bill that's been signed, it has breathed some new life into the bill. It has breathed some new life into the program. I hope Trump does not become a standard neocon that just talks a big game but does nothing when he gets into office. And to give him credit, yes, he's given us tax cuts. Yes, so far he's been doing amazing on immigration. But this is quite a big pothole for him to stumble into. He's taken at least 20 steps forward in terms of immigration policy. And him signing this bill is at least him taking 5 to 7 steps backwards. Now, with the population having a low attention span, no one's going to be talking about this spending bill within a month or two, maybe even in a few weeks, which is a negative on our part as Americans, but what are we going to do about it? Trump should continue putting immigration, border wall, tax cuts, and jobs at the forefront of the things he's trying to accomplish. Don't fall for the Democratic shenanigans that they are pushing. Don't bend knee to the Democrats. Don't bend knee to the neocons and rhino Republicans in office. Because if he does, he's going to have a harder time getting votes in 2020 if policies like this continue, and it's blamed on Trump. But that's it for this video. Peace out, guys.